help you create a new vision for what you can do online as a conscious entrepreneur. And I'm just going to go say it. I think most of us are ladies here, especially we're throwing in the feminine, the rise of the powerful feminine. So I do work with men, but just primarily, I just have to throw that out. And the reason I like to preface this aspect before getting into the weeds of the hows and the tactics and the strategies is that, to me, because I had been working primarily in a very local way, as even when I was in advertising and in branding, publishing, like I worked in local offices, I had a local yoga studio, and the times that I went global is when I physically traveled, to Europe to teach, or to New York, or to South Africa, wherever I was led, whether it was a training that I was leading or a retreat that I was facilitating. But then the moment came in where, like, online, whoa, what? I can do all this stuff. I can make online courses, and I can, coach people on Zoom. And luckily, this all started for me way before 2020. I've actually been in this space since about 2017, like generating income online. So it's been many, many, many years now that I've been doing this. And let me tell you, it's the coolest thing in the world. So I want to make this the coolest thing in the world for you guys. And that's cool is my middle name. But no, I really do want to show you guys the potential and possibility that until that saying, like, until you didn't know. So I'm going to show you guys how to know that there is a world of people that can benefit from you expanding.
To check in the pocket of the jacket?
Expanding from your local community into a broader space. And funny enough, I just had a coaching call right before this with my client who's out in California, and she's just starting her business. In general, just starting her business. She's been a yoga teacher for like 15 years, but very much on and off. And now she's like, I'm really wanting to do this for real, Ari. Like, I want to start impacting. And she's very much doing it for social causes more than her own personal. She has a corporate job, and we're growing her business locally, but with the vision to expand from local. So if you're here today and you're like, well, I really want to focus on my 10-mile radius, this is still going to be really helpful for you, because what I'm going to teach you, especially today, it's about connection, not necessarily spread. Because if you understand connection and you understand the value behind who you are, what you do, how you do it, and who you do it for, what happens is that the minute you decide to expand, it applies. So for me, the most important thing that I get to share with you guys over the next 3 days plus bonus days, so 4 days, is foundational marketing and sales skill sets. Does that make sense? So when you know that, you can then turn up the volume, you can expand beyond, you can really focus on local, because I know, for example, Susan, you have a full-on local clinic in Boca, right? And you're also doing stuff online. Am I correct? So what the things that I want to show you guys can serve both of these worlds. I love doing stuff local. Like, I love it. You know what I mean? And the more that we can, again, learn foundational knowledge, because let me get a hands up here. Who here went to school for marketing or advertising? Just put it in the chat. Can I write in the chat? I did. Like I actually did. And then Iliette, yes, you did. Mandy, awesome, right? So you ladies know that, and Tiana, right? You know that there's things that if no one teaches you, they're not just like, oh, I just know this stuff. No. Yeah, they don't teach this stuff in physical education, getting your degrees. So yeah, definitely not. And like for those of us who are, yoga teachers or health coaches, like the business section of our training is this big. And I'm glad that it is, because you really want to be a good physical therapist, mental health therapist, yoga teacher. Like you want to be good at serving your clients. The business stuff should be, in theory, secondary, but not anymore. Right? Like when you were training and learning your skill set, that was the most important thing. Now the shift and focus goes to, oh, I want to generate profit. And I use this word profit very powerfully, because the last thing that we want is to just think, oh, I want to build revenue for my business. We want to build profit in terms of our time, profit in terms of our income, profit in terms of our impact. Because to me, that's where we leave legacies and where we really create transformation, right? So yeah, Sharon says a class back in 1994. Girl, Sharon she's one of my, we worked together. Oh my God, we were talking the other day when I was, I think, pregnant. And she's been in the fitness industry for like almost 30 years. So imagine, right? We're working in our field, and then all of a sudden, like, hey, social media, Facebook, TikTok. And then, guys, I cuss, I love you. And then you're like, what the fuck? Right? Like, who am I? Like, and I think a lot of us here are not, 23. Hashtag not 20 anymore. And hashtag 40 plus. And so we now have to learn all these new things. So today, and let me lay out the land for you guys for the next few days. Today, I want to concentrate not on Instagram, not on TikTok, not on Facebook, but visibility strategies for social channels. Because you might have a lot of clients that are on Facebook. Facebook has 2 billion plus people. You might have a lot of clients that are on TikTok. Each of these platforms have tactics that can be a little different, okay? But if your marketing baseline is not problem aware, solution centered, then you're going to waste a ton of time creating content. Because content is great, but if it's not creating hits for people to turn into potential buyers, then you're wasting your time. And who has time to waste? Not I. I have a family first, Ari second, 3 businesses third. And sometimes Ari goes last. And that's the reality of things, right? Like we all have multiple things that are going on that are calling our attention. And so, like I said, giving you guys a foundational strategy, I'm going to do my best to do this in 50 minutes or less. I'm always learning something. So please have an open mind. Please have a childlike sponginess to you, and know that I am here to also learn from you. So if you have stuff that has worked for you or shared, please share it in the chat. Also, what's a little different about this boot camp or this challenge for my previous, I've been doing challenges and boot camps and webinars for almost 7 years now, is that what ends up happening is I like to teach, I like to teach a lot. That's the teacher in me. And then the Q&A gets lost. So what I did was that I created a VIP upgrade for only $19, and at 3:10 p.m. Eastern, we're going to jump out of this one, come back into this group for only the VIPs, and we get to do Q&A and coaching. So come with questions, come with concerns, and let me hot seat you guys, and I'll be able to, yes, I know, Tiana, I've been running a business before social media as well, and oh boy, things have changed. And I don't know if Yasmin's here. She's not. I'll drop the link if you guys want to upgrade for those $19. All right. One, do you guys have the workbook? I'm going to drop the links into, I have to find it real quick because I was like, let me close everything. Give me a second. I'm going to drop the links into the chat here and on Facebook. So you grab your workbook. Let me grab it here. Boom, boom, boom. Copy link. All right. So in the chat, I've dropped the link to the workbook. Just please make a copy so that you can then write on it. If not, it's view only. If you're driving, this was emailed to you. I think we did some SMS, and we'll send it again. So don't worry. And let me ask my amazing assistant to drop this into the Facebook chat. Okay. So in this workbook, there's action items for daily work. Okay. And I'm going to share screen so that we can see this. Okay. So I've given you, how to use your online visibility to launch your programs, because that's the goal, right? Is to have really great programs, offers, retreats, trainings, whatever it is that you want to call it. But ideally, okay, and I say ideally, I want you guys to charge. And I think this term is crap, like what you're worth. Like, you're obviously freaking priceless, but I want to help you create programs that are at least $1,000 plus. And I'm going to say this now, because if that scares you, I want to invite you to sit with that fear and look at the potential. Okay. And that could be a 6-month, but we'll get into that tomorrow. But like I said, for me, ideally, we are generating a business that makes you money. Okay. Because if not, then it's a hobby, which is fine. But I want you guys to feel like you're like fulfilled, right? That you see your bank account grow, that you can do fun things, you can give back. Like, money is a tool. It's a magical tool. It's freaking powerful. Okay. So I want you to also be looked upon as experts in your field, authorities, because you did not, and I'm going to get off screen. You did not spend $5, $10, $15, $20, $30,000 getting your training certificates to charge $35 for a private yoga session, or charge $60 for a one-on-one PT, or $75. What we do is that we elevate, right? We elevate our positioning in the market. We differentiate ourselves and we become unique and specific. So this is branding 101. And I love to look at brands. I love to look at their messaging and their positioning in the marketplace, because I don't want you to be the Walmart of your field. I want you to be like the Mercedes-Benz or the Lululemons, right? That you only need to sell a handful of units per month to say, yeah, I made some money this month, versus being like, oh my God, I have to sell like 100 units of whatever it is that I'm selling in order to generate maybe a high 4-figure month, right? That's the goal. Everybody agree with me? Like, drop it in the chat, because it makes me happy. Okay. All right. So I also have like all these fancy slides prepared for you guys. And honestly, I think if we just I overwork because I'm like that. I'm like, oh, let me give 180%. And then I'm like, no, I think we're just going to work with the workbook. So the first thing that I want us to understand is that the who, okay, listen to me now and forever. The who, the audience, your ideal client, is what drives your marketing efforts. Who is that ideal client? And you'll see me switching back and forth from slides, workbooks into me, okay? The reason I say this is because clients are on a journey, okay? And I shared this in my Facebook Live this morning. I'm going to use my dad as an example. My dad's a 73-year-old man. He might not be your ideal client, but let's get into it. 73-year-old man. He loves to eat ice cream, chocolate, and meat. Like those are his 2 food groups, okay? Or 3 food groups. He maybe will touch a vegetable. He has a great mindset, but he's happy where he is. I keep telling him to change his diet. Like I was a health coach for many, many years. And gosh, if I was like, Dad, stop eating sugar, Dad, stop eating chocolate. Where he is on his journey is that he doesn't care about that. But I will tell you what he cares about. His hips are bothering him. His skin, right? We have lots of freckles in my family. So little things like that. So if I was a health coach, I am a health coach. If I was growing a health coaching business, he would be in the category of not aware of the problem. Okay, this is important. He kind of knows it, but he's not really interested. So what you want to focus on is people that are problem aware. They know they have a problem and they are looking to solve it. I keep looking at Susan. So maybe TMI, I don't care. I'm an open book. The other day I was talking to Susan. I was like, Susan, I need to see you. I keep peeing in my pants. Right? Like I'm 43. I've had a baby. I've done yoga for so freaking long, tightening my, pelvic floor, loosening my pelvic floor, like all the things. And Susan just happens to be a pelvic floor expert among other things. Problem aware client here. I was like, I don't care how much it costs, but if next time I sneeze, I pee on myself, like this is it. I'm done with this, right? Problem aware. My daughter's 3.5. We started potty training when she was 2. And gosh bless, pooping was an issue. So what Instagram accounts did I start looking at? Not parenting Instagram accounts, but toddler specific accounts, right? Especially one that dealt with a lot of the problems of toddlers being slightly psychotic, Mom, you cut my banana. Why did you cut my banana? To like the whole potty training fiasco. Problem aware. So I want you to envision this client. And if you've already been working with people, you probably can say, oh yeah, I have most of my people that come to me that are easy yeses have these certain commonalities. So what is this client in what's called the problem continuum? Do they know they have a problem and are wanting to solve it? Do they know they have a problem, but they're, if I solve it, cool. If I don't, cool. Or, hey, I don't even know I have this problem. So what we want to do is focus on these people that, hey, I have a problem and I'm looking to solve it. Because when we focus on visibility, I make reels, I make carousels, I make posts, I go live. Focus on these people who have a problem, want to solve it, and they also have a desire for transformation. And this is where most of your money will be. This is not necessarily the hot, cold, warm audience. Okay, I'm going to get into that in a minute. It's a little bit different. But again, if you look at your marketing baseline, our messaging, it all starts with, let's solve the problems that my ideal clients have, and that are, if I don't solve them, they're just going to go to somebody else, because they're in that I'm looking for a solution phase. And one thing I was sharing in my EDC program the other day, I did a training on lead generation. And if you guys can start thinking of narrow problems that fall under the big umbrella problem, this is where you're going to start getting content. Okay, so let's say big umbrella problem is my back hurts. Okay, that can apply to like a lot of you who are yoga teachers, physical therapists. Okay, my back hurts. Well, what are narrow problems that I can address with lower back pain? It could be sitting, like exercising wrong. It could be the way you're walking, the way you get out of bed, the stretches you're doing, the stretches you're not doing. And every single one of those narrow problems alludes to the bigger problem. Your back is still hurting, right? Like I can give you all this really powerful, what we call like value-driven free content, but we have to give people opportunities to know that we solve the back pain, that we are the solution. And here is the way that I can help. Okay, because at the end of the day, visibility without strategic customer purchase guidance, people call it call to actions, okay, but it's psychological connection that leads them to be like, oh, well, I need a better brand. And Ari's talking about branding all the time and how it attracts ideal clients and how your brand can make or break, the fact that you're going to be in business for 2 years versus 10 years, or that your brand, maybe she and I should talk about my brand. Okay, so I'm going to go back to, is this all making sense for you guys? Share with me, please. Yes, thank you, Tiana. Yes, I'm glad you guys are resonating with this. Oh, and also, let me tell you guys about me for a second and why should you pay attention to me? I always forget to do this. I'm like, I just want to teach you guys. So hi, my name's Ariane, and I've been an entrepreneur since I was 20. And I've been on a journey to find independence and freedom since I was 3. Why does this matter? Because I know what it takes to build businesses from scratch. I currently not only have I'm going to say successful for me, online coaching business since 2017. I had a brick and mortar yoga studio, award-winning, I will say, and here in Miami. I've been leading international retreats. Actually, Angie just came back from my women's retreat in Mexico. And for over a decade, I owned the Yoga Expo, which is the largest yoga trade show and conference in the United States. And I'm a mom. I am a twice published author, 1 bestseller, and I know a lot of stuff because I've been doing a lot of stuff for a very long time. That might not be the bio that you need, but when you guys get to know me, I'm an open book. So I went to school for graphic design and marketing. So I have a bachelor in fine arts, cum laude, if that makes me seem smarter as well. And I'm obsessed with business. All I do is read books about business and marketing, and I hire coaches and buy online courses because I'm literally obsessed. I used to be obsessed about yoga, and I taught yoga for almost 20 years. And then I became obsessed with business because this is what's going to help me impact more people. Because if Angie, Susan, Morgan, Shanti, Terry, Trixie, you guys can help more people, then boom, we are winning. All right. Now that I've talked about myself, let's get back to you guys. So we're going to go back into the workbook. for a moment. And ideally what you do, okay, on a day-to-day is that you watch these videos and then you go back into your workbook and you do the things. Because here's what I'm going to throw at you guys in a very humbling way. If you learn a bunch of stuff and you don't apply it, and you just learned a bunch of stuff, right? So my number one strength is action. In the Gallup Strengths Finder, I'm an activator. And so I will be the fire under your butt. That's what I get to do with my clients. And I'm your motivator. I'm the loving mom, but stern dad that says, hey, why don't you do your homework? And I call you out on your BS. Like I did to my husband this morning. He, just started a business. And I was like, did you call your leads? He's like, no. And I was like, why? Why? So we're going to start with a mantra, which is very important. And if you are not driving and you wanted to do this, take a screenshot of this and tag me on Instagram, because this is what I get to teach you, right? We expand our visibility and I'm asking. So one of my values is also ask for what you need. So I'm asking. So I am successful. People love what I do and I deserve to help them on their journey. I am a professional whose number one goal is to serve and impact. I'll make mistakes and done is better than perfect. For my Virgos out there, done is better than perfect. I'm not calling you out, Angie. No, I'm just kidding. But I say this because in the online world, whether it's like, I'm going to make a reel, I'm going to do a post, sometimes, like my husband this morning, he was like, well, no, I need to have all this stuff. And I was like, just start. We'll figure it out. We'll build the landing pad on the way down. But what hurts us is waiting. What hurts us is not taking daily action. It's consistency. And some people will say like, you need to be consistent. You need to be consistent. Team Virgo. I have 4 planets in Virgo. So this is why I'm messing with you guys. Consistency on social media is one thing, but consistency in revenue generating activity and actually doing things that will push the lever 1 centimeter. I'm not even talking about inches, 1 centimeter forward. In 10 days, you've moved 10 centimeters. In 100 days, you've moved 100 centimeters. Like little by little, you move forward. And sometimes because you've learned the skill set, the thing that took you 20 minutes takes you 5. And that made you move 50 centimeters in one shot. So I want to cut out the fluff of like I said, all these like tactics and get into the nitty gritty. Okay, so the first thing that you want to, and maybe you want to share with me in the chat is, where are you at right now? What do I mean by that? Where am I at? I just started my business. I have, 50 people on my email list, or 5. I have 36 followers on social media on Instagram. And that's it. I don't have a website, right? Like, and share with me, because then that way I can help you guys. Or I've been a industry professional for 30 years. I have 2 studios, and right now my goal is to move online so I can make $1 million. Like, I want to know this is where you're at and what success looks like. And I'm going to zoom in for you guys who maybe like can't see. I have a huge screen, so let me maximize it. Okay. And like I said, when you make a copy of this, you can write on this. Okay. So do this work for a moment. Like, even if you just think about it and then go in and start typing, and then you can take a screenshot, share it inside the Facebook group. If you're not in the Facebook group, join the Facebook group, or freaking post it on social media, send me a carrier pigeon. I don't care, but let me know that you're doing the work. So this is where I am. And this is what my success looks and feel like on and offline. And I like to make that distinction. offline, because offline is your real freaking life. And success for you might be like, I have 3 days off. I work with only level 10 clients and created an online course that I want to sell. I've cloned myself by hiring the next coach or the next specialist in my business. Does this make sense? I'm going to drink some water. I just saw Susan drinking. I'm like, drink water. All right. Okay. And the next question, which is in the middle, says, this is my mission and my message. So you'll see it kind of correlates to this. I'm going to move this down. I help my ideal client to, right, results, the why, so that bigger impact with or potentially without my signature work. Okay. Oh, I love that, Kelly. Yes, yes, yes. Reiterate what it is. This is where I am means. Yes, Tamar. So this is where you're at is like, assess your business right now. Assess where you're at. Like I have 3 clients. I want to launch my retreat to Egypt, when the time is right. I have an online program that I want to sell and I'm making $7,000 a month. Like you got to know your baseline. Yeah, absolutely. Great question. When you guys don't know where you're standing, and let me go off screen, and I have a podcast on this, but it's basically called the law of tensegrity. And we did this at the retreat. Remember, Angie? Okay. Imagine. Hold on. I got to turn off WhatsApp. Let me share my magical skills with Zoom. Okay. This is where you're at. This is right now. This is your business. Okay. This is the things that you act like, the assets of your business that you have right now. This is what success looks like right here. And we're going to put a 12 month. Okay. That's a good, strong 4 quarters year. So let's say right now you have 1 client, you're making, $250 a month. Okay. I'm just speculating. Okay. And you have a full-time job. Okay. So you're transitioning. And you say, in a year, I want to be generating $2,500,000, right? And I want to have my own plane and whatever with my old job. The law of tensegrity says that the pressure that you are putting on yourself and on your resources is so much that you're going to break. It's not realistic, right? We talk about SMART goals. It has to be realistic. But let's say that you're like, oh, in a year, I want to have 2 clients and I want to be making $500 a month. Okay. This is like the loosey-goosey. There's no motivation. You're just kind of like coasting. So you need to know where you're at in order for you to know what actions, right? Goals, actions, and projects. This is how you fill the gap. You need to take, whether it's daily, weekly, quarterly. Do I need a team member? Do I need to make some alliances? Like, what do I do to get to what I call the Goldilocks? It's not too hot. It's not too cold. It's just right. So ideally, right? Ideally, we create a definition of success that is unique to us. I cannot place a definition of success for you. This is yours. Okay. And if you are stuck with figuring out what success means to you, that could be something we talk about if when you jump onto the VIP session. Okay. So I just put the direct link, Terry, you asked for it. Trying to be an octopus here. Okay. So get your mission right, because here's a fun fact. And I'm like an alien. I'm like, so like obsessed and, I think the word obsessed is correct. And with my business that like I wake up at 4 a.m. to read and to like strategize. And honestly, that's the time that I have because then I'm a mom and my daughter is the most important thing to me. I don't want to be on my phone. Okay. So success means to me that I not only am going to make that massive impact, but I want to be location independent. So I want to be able to keep my home, my house here that I can just come back to Miami whenever I want. But then if I want to live in Hawaii for 6 months, I can. So that's my definition of success. What that looks like, maybe I need to earn, $20,000 a month for that. Great. That's right. That's not crazy for where I'm at to where I want to go. So I have something to aspire to. And my mission pushes me. Because once you are connected to your mission, you will wake up at 4 a.m. and do the work that kind of sucks. You will make the cold call. You will write the email and do the admin, right? Because you're on a mission. And then you find people who are your allies on this mission. And it's just so freaking cool. Okay. So that would be a great place to start for you. Part 2. Problems I solve. I put 2 lines here, like just write a problem, tech, mindset, back pain, whatever it is, just write a list of problems that you can solve. Stress, anxiety. Now, I'm gonna invite you to do 2 things. Write problems, because I know a lot of us here work with the emotional state. Emotional states are really, I don't like to use the word hard, but they're more challenging to make tangible. So when you write problems that you are solving, I invite you to write some that are internal, but also some that are external. Meaning, if I help people with anxiety, what does anxiety look like? Well, it could be untapped opportunities. It could be sleepless nights. It could be sabotaged relationships, right? Like if you're a very anxious person, you might be experiencing some of these external problems. Okay, so what we want to do, yes, Tiana, I love it. Okay, so what we want to do here in this scenario is focus on talking to people about those airy-fairy problems, whatever that means, because they're actually like the root of the cause for the most part. But take a picture, right? Like, for example, if I were to say, are you tired of like going into the Instagram scroll hole and looking at all these, content creators and people saying that they're generating all this money online and feeling like crap? You might really resonate with me. Or you might say like, gosh, I see all these people, they're popping up in my ads and they're doing all these webinars and challenges. Like they're already saturated the marketplace. Where do I fit? I just started my business. Could you resonate with that? So you see how I'm sharing internal problems that are more about confidence or sabotaging belief systems with external, what's it called, like occurrences, okay? So I like to make sure you guys understand that. So internal plus external. So if we focus on problems all the time, we also become like Debbie Downers. Look at this problem and you have that problem. Like nobody wants to hear that all the time. So also, what are their wishes? I wish I had a 6-pack. I wish I stopped peeing on myself. I just have to keep using them. I wish I could travel more. I wish I had more sex with my husband. I wish I could show up, speak on stage. I wish I could time manage better. So if we can answer the I wish, those desires, then we're also alluding to what people want. And that's so beautiful, right? That's where like the juiciness, the love, the extras. Okay, so we want to focus on both of these things. And also, for those of you who upgraded to VIP, you get access to my Content Pro. And in there, I have a quote, and I can't remember. It's in the training. And I say something like, you want to be able to read the thoughts in your ideal clients' minds. Like, insert yourself in there, right? Because if you can pull out a thought, some people have said, if you could read a page of their diary, and I'm like, they've never read my diary because I don't have one. But that could be a thought, right, inside my brain. If you can do that, then you're focused on a person. You're not focused on a bunch of different kinds of people. Okay? And I'm going to share this again. I'm going to pop in and out. There's in theory, the two kinds of people, right? Or really three kinds. And this is more like on marketing messaging. I know I have a problem and I'm willing to share this problem. Meaning, like, me and Angie sitting on the beach. Hey, Angie, I've been working so hard. My back's been hurting. My neck's like, oh my God, it's hurting so much. And just so tired all the time, right? That's something that you could share with a girlfriend or just a casual conversation, if it got into that. Problem I know I have, but I'm probably not going to share this. Oh my God, my neck's hurting so bad. I'm not sleeping at night and I'm so freaking tired all day. I have this brain fog and I've been a total jerk to my kids. That's not something I'm probably going to share with like Angie, right? Maybe if I drank like 2 glasses of wine, but for the most part, probably not. And then it's the problem I don't know I have, which obviously I can't share. What is this problem? Sleepless nights. It's probably going to lead to anxiety. It's probably going to lead to like bad moods. It's going to worsen my brain fog. Like, these are all now the symptoms that are going to keep building that can create a big problem. Because we know if you don't sleep, all sorts of great stuff is going to happen, right? I might wake up at 4, but I go to sleep at 9. I'm like, I got 6 hours. We're good. Okay. Does this make sense? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Throw it in the chat. So we'll keep moving. Okay. Now let's talk about how are we bringing people into our world? I call it a database because I firmly believe all of us should have an email list that hears from us often. And online community, this is your fan base, this is your world, your tribe, all the adjectives around that, but it's our people, right? Ask yourself, how am I bringing people from viewers into, like, I have a Facebook group and I have an email list. Now, email list, no one's taken that from me. It's mine. Even though like your names are on it, he's mine. I don't care if like Facebook explodes. I can personally open up an Excel sheet and write Susan an email, Shay an email. I can write you guys. And I potentially have your phone numbers, which means I can send you a text message from my phone. No algorithm, by the way, right? Hello. Non-algorithm dependent. So please put your hand on your heart and say, I will grow an email list. I will grow an email list. It can start with a notepad at your yoga class. It can be if you're speaking at an event or you are going to a networking event. Like I went to a networking event the other day and I connected with a bunch of ladies and I connected with them on Instagram. And then what did I do? I was like, hey, I send out some really great newsletters. This is something you're interested in. And then not with everyone, but something that you don't want to do is like, oh, here, I got your business card. I'm adding you into my email list. Like, don't do that. Not cool. Don't buy lists. Like, don't do any of it. Do it like with genuine. Like, how do I grow my list? I want to show you guys how I do things. I have online freebies. I have like my 25 lead magnet. For a while, I had the Content Pro that was free. It was the free social media training. I created oh, by the way, I have an extra gift for you guys. I created this whole like project management board for you. And like I put on Facebook the other day, hey, I have this marketing board. Anybody want it? Well, they're going to say me. Well, what's your email? So I'm exchanging something. Okay. So that's one way to do it. Having events like this, webinars, workshops, and not just online, in person as well. Emails, people register. I just started a new women's networking group called the Conscious Woman Collective. And every time somebody comes to my event, I get their emails. So now I have 40 ladies or 50, right? New people on my list. Do you see what I mean? So grow your email list. And the Facebook group is a place where I nurture. So I'm going to draw again, me and my little whiteboard. Okay. Oh, they just changed all this. Okay. Zoom upgraded, my CRM software upgraded. So this is welcome to the world of funnels, but we're going to call it a pipeline. Okay? So it's not overwhelming or confusing. So what happens is that in this pipeline, we're going to have 3 layers. We're going to call it tofu, not the food. It's called top of funnel. Then mofu. I love these names. And then bofu. Okay. Top of funnel. Okay. This is where you're first like catching people. So imagine there was a net. Oops. Like I said, they just did this. I don't know what's going to happen. Oh, no. Hold on. I'm slightly, why? Okay. Why Zoom? Thank you. So this is the net. Okay. So you're literally catching people and filtering. Okay. My husband's a fisherman and he'll go out and cast a net. He doesn't catch every fish. He catches the fish he wants. Same thing, right? When you're fishing, you use specific lures to get the specific fish. So think of like, who is your fish? If you're vegan, I apologize. But it's what I got. Okay. So these people are your viewers. This is your like Instagram follower. This is the person on the Facebook group that you popped into and decided to drop some value or, help somebody who had a question. And then you created a conversation with. This is called and I'm gonna do this to you guys so you're like, ooh, wow, what's that? This is your Facebook profile funnel. Okay, that's a whole strategy that we work with in EDC, but it's important. Okay, so this is your organic reach, organic social media. Okay, this is your networking event. This is your paid ad. Okay, you see, so this is all what are called traffic sources. Your YouTube channel. Like I know Angie, Tiana, you guys have YouTube channels that you're growing. Okay. But for example, the other day, this wonderful lady that I know, she's like sharing her YouTube and I go and I'm like, oh, let me check out her, her YouTube channel. And what happens? It was just a video. And you're like, well, what's wrong about a video, Ari? Well, doesn't she want to generate business from that video? There was nowhere for people to click to, lead to, no call to action, no like, hey, if you want to work with me, go to check out the description. I looked at the description, it had no links, right? So then that's called content. In Spanish, it would be like por gusto, or whatever. It's like you just filmed, you probably paid for it, it took you time, but there's no pipeline or a slide, shoots and ladders, however you want to look at this. Okay. I work with funnels because that's what I do. Okay. So your top of funnel, this is where you have your free lead magnet, or you have your like workshop registration, and you have your webinar, you have your challenge, your bootcamp, masterclass. Okay. This is it. This is where all that happens. And ideally, okay, when you work with me, okay, I'll just say that I love it when we start with workshops, webinars, challenges, and masterclasses. I don't, obviously I don't make you do anything, but I encourage you to start here because this is what takes people faster into middle of funnel, which is called nurture and generate potential buyers, right? A freebie is great. Freebie's great. I'm all about them. We will build them, right? You will build them. Or again, whatever you decide. And you can build them. And that's like a journey to the paid stuff. So I'm like, well, just wow people with a cool workshop, wow people with your knowledge, and then invite them to, join your program, to buy your class, or charge them $27 to take your class, or 20, whatever it is, even if it's a $97, half day event, because then ideally we take them to your higher ticket item, the bottom of funnel. This is where most of the revenue you generate is, right here at the bottom, because we've done our work to nurture relationships, to expose people to our wisdom, to give them reasons why they should invest in you versus somebody else. Okay. Does this make sense? Yes. Okay. Yes, you take a notepad to class tonight. Thank you. Like at my event the other day, the Conscious Women, I totally forgot to bring an iPad, and I ripped a piece of paper out of a notebook. I was like, this is what I have. Go. Doesn't matter. Okay. So the goal is to grow our audience in a way that is curated. I'd rather have 200 solid people than 1,000 randoms. And I'll tell you guys a mistake I did. 7 years ago, my friend was like, Ari, why don't we do these follow loops on Instagram? I was like, sure, that sounds like a great idea. And so you would join this group and everybody would follow each other. So I grew my account by 2,000 people. None of them turned into clients. It was just there were people from men from India, these girls from Bali, and not to say that, maybe one of them could turn it, but they're not my ideal clients. I work with mainly either, Spanish speaking and US based, maybe Canadian, that's, wellness entrepreneurs. These were mom bloggers. It was awful. It took me years to come out of that fun mistake. Even 3 months ago, I opened up my Instagram, and all of a sudden I started seeing all these random people that I was like, why am I following these? I was like, freaking follow loops bit me in the butt years later. Okay. So do it right from the beginning. And, something that I've learned from a lot of my mentors, and God bless, I've spent so much money on mentors, and they've all told me the same thing. Blow the socks off people. I don't think that's the right saying, or knock the socks off people with your free stuff, because your paid stuff is going to be so amazing. They're just going to be like, wow, this was free. I wonder, right? So if we're looking at growing our tribe and online, have a strategy. If you're going to do the reel, what is the reel for? If you're going to do the live, what is the live for? If you're going to do the carousel, or you're going to do a IG live with somebody else, a panel, what is the goal? These should all be business-driven goals, not visibility or vanity metric goals. 10,000 people follow me. I bet you 50% of that are my ideal clients, because now, when I hit 10K, now all these people follow me and I have to unfollow. I almost rather like shrink my account than have, Joe Schmo trying to sell me like copywriting services, and he lives in Russia and is 12. Like that's the type of stuff I get. And in between that, I get amazing people like Janine today. She worked with me a few years ago. She's like, oh my God, I'm so glad I found you again. I've been loving your content. I can't wait to start working with you again. Everything you taught me like is really sinking in right now and like really powerful. And I'm like, oh, thank God that I do what I do online. Okay. So you want to have a strategy. So day one recap, we're getting to the 3 p.m. mark. How do you want to be perceived as a business owner? What's your magic sauce? What is your brand positioning? What makes you different? What makes Angie different than all the other yoga teachers? What makes Susan different than all the other PTs, right? What's your specialty? If you haven't heard this before, let's say you're a runner and you're really serious about running and you hurt your knee. I have two options. I'm either going to go to the ortho that can fix me, or I'm going to go to the knee specialist. Who am I going to? The knee specialist. Why? Because I'm really serious about running. I want my knees to like work properly. Who's more expensive? The ortho. Who's a knee specialist? Not just the regular guy, right? I know that this, or lady, I don't want to, right? I know that the knee specialist works on knees all day long. He or she could probably fix my knee, in 5 minutes, whereas the other person is like, well, I did a shoulder and a pelvis today and an ankle. So be that person, be the specialist. Okay, people talk about niches. I love niches because yes, we want to be, within a niche, and there's 3 niches: health, wealth, or relationships. And then you want to, niche down within that, but you want to be a specialist in your field. You get referrals, like all sorts of good things happen. What is your online brand and presence telling others? Are you trustworthy? Are you professional? Like if I open up your website and it looks dated and, the picture's blurry and you don't have any testimonials, I might be like, right? If I look you up on Google and you have, 1 bad review, I'm not going to go to you. Like all these things are important. Like it's not just Instagram, it's your online presence. Okay. I ignored Google for a long time, and now I'm like getting my clients to leave me testimonials on Google because I want to be findable and impress. How are you calling in your clients to work with you? Right? What is your strategy? How are you moving them through this funnel? How are you adding them to your list? Are you starting conversations with them? Do you have a Facebook group? Again, you don't need a Facebook group, but I say it because that's one of the strategies I use. Okay. Focus on that problem solution always. Every problem has a solution, and then a new problem is built. That's the law of the land. So, okay, Susan helped me to stop peeing on myself, but man, my lower back still hurts. Are they connected? Potentially. She's like, yes, they are, right? Like every problem has a solution that creates a new problem. So you want to be aware of how you can continue to work with people. Like it's not my goal to be one and done. It's my goal to be supporting my clients through their journey. This is why people come back to work with me. Thank you, clients that continue to work with me. Okay. I want to just give them a shout out. How are you calling in your clients to work with you? Problem solution, successful mindset. Okay. So I talked a lot about strategy today, but it all starts with who you are and who you show up as, right? My tagline of my business is be, create, inspire. Who are you being on a daily basis? Are you being excusey Sally? Oh no, I didn't do my live today because like I had canas, what are they called? Gray hairs. Well, you know what? They make brown spray paint. And at the end of the day, I don't care. I'm 43 and have gray hair. What do you want me to do? I didn't have time to go get my roots done. Is that going to stop my business? No. Okay. So understand that the stages of awareness that your clients are at, we talked about that. Think of my dad. People search for the solution to their problem and they will pay you. Example, I was talking to my friend yesterday at my daughter's gathering, and she was like, oh, the swim coach, she gave me a deal. She only charges me 100, but she charges 150 for 45 minutes. And how did that conversation start? Because we were talking about what are the next schools that our children are going to go to. And I said, well, you know, we could always look at Country Day, and we started laughing. Miami Country Day is $50,000 a year. This swim coach teaches at Miami Country Day. Her clients are all really, really rich people. Really rich people pay expensive things. I had a client, she's a billionaire, a Russian oligarch. She wasn't going to pay me $50 for the class. Like, she paid me $400 for the class because that's what they're used to. So if your clients are not willing to pay you, right, then we got to figure out the strategy, right, that works, that makes sense for your pricing. And we'll talk about that tomorrow, because there is a way to still be profitable and not work with just rich people. I want to say that, okay? Another, mindset is because others are doing it already doesn't mean you cannot do it too. That would mean that there's no new restaurants, no new doctor's offices, no new, right? Like, just because it exists doesn't mean you can't also exist. You just have to be different. Your decoration needs to look different. Your service needs to look different. Your advertising needs to look different. And ideally, designing your client journey is the clarity behind all this. So every day I'm going to give you Ari's tips for winning. Start your week asking how I can serve, be seen, but attract with ease. Get a system that supports your flow. Like, do you have software that can help you? Like, are you, good with Canva? Do you have a CRM, a client retention management software? Do you have a spreadsheet that you're using? Are you using Google Drive? Does your website have extra features you're not using? So if you're trying to piecemeal everything together, it will not work as easily because we're trying to cut corners and that just turns into chaos, okay? Be seen as the solution. Get clear on your why. So clear on your who that nothing else matters. Lead from within. The changes you make inside are what makes the difference outside. And then talk about this client journey, right? What is your client experiencing? Figure out their point A to their point B. This is what I did with you guys earlier. This is where you're at. This is where you want to go. See what that looks like for your clients. And we also have a WhatsApp chat. I'll send you guys the link again. I'll actually post it in everywhere. But if you want to share in our group or in our chat, your I help statement, this one, right? That would be awesome because that way I know what you guys are doing, okay? Or who you're trying to help. And maybe I can come up with some good ideas. So that's the meat and potatoes for the day. Like I said, if you're in VIP, what I'm going to do is log off. And then those of you who upgraded, just come right back in and we'll do hot seat coaching. Bring your questions. Any question is a good question. I'm here to solve your problems. So thank you, everybody. I'll see you in a minute. Bye. And at 3:10. Ciao.